I thought I was on a little bit of a walk, so I was going to do my pre-Chelsea preview outside, out and about, near a Sainsbury's. That's the Sainsbury's. There's a big red building up there and there's a massive tower over in that direction somewhere, but I figured I'd do this because it's a little bit of a change up from normal, because you know what, an FA Cup semi-final is also a little bit of a change up from normal. So I'm going to walk for about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to talk about what the lineup's going to be and all that kind of stuff. Massively appreciate if you liked and subscribed, that'd be lovely. But yeah, it's also quite quiet. That helps. If I suddenly stop, it's because it stopped being quiet. Leeds United are approaching a very, very, very big match up against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, with the winner. I'm going to cross the road quickly. There we go. With the winner getting the honour of facing off against Manchester City in the FA Cup final on, I believe, the 16th of May. And I think Leeds have a very, very good chance. First of all, I'm going to dive into the Chelsea bit, because the Chelsea bit is far shorter than I prepared. I prepared a lot in advance. However, in the time since, it's quite hard to talk about Chelsea's tactics, because in the time since, they have sacked Liam Rosenior, and he has been replaced by their assistant manager. Their assistant manager, who I believe has managed 2 Chelsea matches after the sacking of Maresca, off the top of my head, which was Man City, which was a draw, I want to say, and Everton, which they lost, which is a pretty good sign for us. It shows that the players are egotists thing, and the fact that their players are potentially always in open rebellion, is going to work in our favour a little bit. It's quite nice, because the stories that came out about Liam Rosenior, which is basically that he wasn't respected by the players and all that kind of nonsense, could continue to work based on Mr. Assistant Manager. And you build out from that a little bit, and you think ideally that's going to work for us. They're not going to know the tactical shapes, all that kind of stuff, but what matters most is the way that we play and the way that we approach this. So in this match, my predicted lineup, I'm going to go Lucas Perry in goal, mainly because we know that Daniel Farke is going to go with Lucas Perry in goal. Lucas Perry being effectively the cup goalkeeper at this point, which I have no problem with. He's a very good goalkeeper that made a few mistakes and got dropped, which is fine. No issues with him being dropped, but at the same time, he's good enough to do this job. Got us here in the first place as well, which, as I mentioned, quite like a little bit of a meritocracy. If someone is able to sort of own you a place at Wembley, I think they've also earned the chance for them to play at Wembley. Like, let's be honest, the reason that we're in this semi-final is Lucas Perry's performance, both throughout the match, was excellent. Is that the moon? No, it's the moon. Why does it look so small? But his performance in the penalty shootout is what got us here in the first place. So let's give him that much credit. Beyond that, I would probably say the back three is going to be ideally what you want it to be. It's going to be Rodon on the right, Biol in the middle, Stroke on the left, is the way that you sort of hope that it's going to turn out. However, that depends a little bit. If Rodon is fully fit, then he starts, in my opinion. At right back is one of Bogle or Justin. If Bogle is fit, I think you go with Jayden Bogle. If there are any question marks, if it's a case of he's still potentially working his way through it, then in my opinion it's got to be James Justin. James Justin isn't that much of a step down from Jayden Bogle. He's a change in style, without a doubt. He's less of that bombing on constant, go nuts kind of winger. But in terms of his quality, in terms of his defensive work, he ain't half bad. I would take James Justin if there was any sort of question mark around availability for Jayden Bogle. Otherwise, I'm probably going Bogle for his attacking output, because Chelsea are a shambles most of the time. I'm going to keep on walking because someone has just rocked up. Beyond that, left-hand side, obviously Gabby Goodmanson. In midfield, Stack isn't going to be available, let's be honest. Wasn't in training by Thursday, and I imagine that turnaround's going to be too quick. We might see him on the bench, but I don't know about in the first 11. Probably Tanaka Ampadu in midfield in that case, because I don't think, even though Longstaff scored a very nice goal, realistically that's not extended performance across the length of a match. Probably still a little bit rusty as well. So I think you probably wait for him to be a little bit more into it. Like, in reality, he's had one good touch, which was a very nice volley, like, no doubt. Fantastic finish. But it's not what you need to start an FA Cup semi-final, in my personal opinion, at the very least. But again, this is all just my opinion. Shout at me in the comments if I'm wrong. Beyond that, you probably go Aronson and Okafor because, again, work rate works fantastically. I know people don't fancy Aronson, but for me, I've not really got a problem. People are talking about the fact that I'm vlogging. That's unpleasant. So I will start again in a minute. I love a quiet and dodgy side street. It's always very, very fun. Anyway, I would no doubt go Brendan Aronson on the right / centre, depending on who's on the right hand side. Mainly because that work rate that he puts in, the fact he's always happy to like bite his way into a challenge. He's going to make things difficult for Chelsea. Every time we played against Chelsea, he's made things tough for them, which is what we need. And Okafor on the other side just brings that little sprinkle of quality, that little extra dose of what we need. We perform better with Noah Okafor in the side, like without a doubt, in my opinion. So leaving him out would be a massive mistake. That smells delicious. Oh, it's the Thai place. Oh, I want it now, but I've eaten. In front of that, obviously, I think you go DCL. Technically, he's better than Lucas Mecha. Physicality, I don't know if it's going to come into it too much. I think it's more going to be a sort of bit of a chess game in terms of scoring goals. It smells so good. And then you get to the way that we want to play. Ideally, we're coming into it with that physicality, that snap into a challenge, that little bit of oomph that makes them think and makes them work. Chelsea have never been able to keep up with us in a physical battle when we've played against them in the Premier League. They always beat us from the technical standpoint, and potentially tactically, but it doesn't really happen physically. We're always quicker than them. I hate the fucking term, but we always want it more, which is what counts here. And Wembley, we're going to be getting behind them. It's going to be causing them a lot of problems, and ultimately I think it's going to be getting us the win. Because I'm going to go with a fairly optimistic prediction. I'm going to say Leeds United win this. I'm going to say it's going to be fairly tricky. A man just looked at me because I'm walking through a car park and he was sat in his car and I didn't see him until the last moment. Fucking made eye contact. I'm going to go with a nice 2-1. I think we score first. I think we score second. I think things are a little bit nervy for a few minutes, but I don't think they're good enough to equalise. I think they're going to struggle in that regard. And that's sort of the hope. Anyway, I will be heading down to Wembley in the morning. I will be putting out a vlog. I say this as if it's not the morning when I put this out. Anyway, I'll be putting out a vlog that will hopefully be quite a good vibe. Yeah, that's always a little bit spooky. I hope things go well. But that's the general gist. I'll try and record more of the match this time. I know I'm not very good at that, but I like being in the moment. Let me know what you guys want from me in that regard in the comments. If you like the video, pop a like on it. Subscribe if you aren't yet. That's always massively appreciated. Be a channel member as well. You get videos like this one nice and early, which is quite fun. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you at Wembley. Let's get into the final, and then let's beat City. Let's have a trophy. That'd be nice. See you later.